The town I grew up in, Quincy, Illinois, is a Mississippi River town about 100 miles northwest of St. Louis, Missouri. So when my friends and I were younger, and we headed to the big city for a concert or a music festival, or just a night out to blow off some steam, St. Louis was where we'd go. I spent many an evening in those days chilling and meeting up with folks at the Del Mar Loop or catching bands at Mississippi Nights. A lot of my friends from those days ended up settling in and around St. Louis, while I went north instead, returning to Chicagoland, the metro that birthed me. But with all that time I spent in St. Louis, I'm absolutely flabbergasted that I never, until just this month, tried the hot salami sandwich. There's a neighborhood on the south side of St. Louis, a traditional blue-collar neighborhood where in the front half of the 20th century, Italian immigrants settled and opened markets and restaurants and cafes and bakeries. The neighborhood is called The Hill, and in 1918 a guy named Charlie Gioia opened a market and salumeria selling house-made sausages and a selection of Italian goods. He called the place Gioia's, and while people liked plenty of his products, there was one, Salami di Testa, that was an enduring hit. Now, salam comes from the same word as salami, of course. Salumi is the word, the Italian word for charcuterie, the entire category of preserved meats, salted or smoked, dried or cured, your prosciuttos, your brezzolas, your mortadellas, your salamis, while di testa means from the head. So essentially, salam di testa, made from a mixture of pork cheek and beef, could be considered a type of head cheese. And there are head cheese-like products in Italy, often referred to as coppa di testa. But salam di testa is meatier, softer, less gelatinous than the typical head cheese. A cooked product, simmered up fresh daily, held warm and sliced while still hot to be placed directly into sandwiches. So it makes sense that they'd call it hot salami. These days, Gioia's is a deli rather than a market, and they focus on sandwiches. You can buy a log of their hot salami, raw and frozen, to take home and reheat in a crock pot. Their recommended version of the hot salami sandwich features thick slices of the salami di testa in a good crusty baguette from a local bakery called Fazio's, with pepper jack cheese, spicy mustard, and pepperoncini peppers, toasted to melt the cheese. Their version is fantastic. But when I made it at home, I decided to St. Louis it up by using Provel instead. If you're not familiar with Provel, or even if you are, it gets a bad rap. I know, because I'm one of the guys giving it a bad rap for the most part. Provel is a processed cheese with a waxy texture and a low melting point, similar to an American cheese but less sharp in flavor, milder and creamier. In St. Louis they use it on pizzas, and the melting profile just seems wrong in that context. But on hot sandwiches, honestly, I think it works great. A sandwich press may not be the ideal method for toasting this sandwich. I'm pretty sure Gioia's doesn't do it that way. But it makes for a crisp crust and a sandwich that's hot and melty through and through, flatter and easier to fit in your mouth, and it really brings all the ingredients together into a cohesive whole. The cheese melting into the garlicky pork fat of the salami, mingling the brine of the pepperoncinis and the pungent mustard into the compressed crumb of the bread. I like this hot salami sandwich a lot, and I feel pretty dumb for missing out on it the past few decades.